Hi there, I'll be showing you how to use your build, or how I would like to use your build. I have your stat layout right over here. I have your same talismans equipped, but something I would like to point out is the talismans you currently have are suboptimal. Not even that, they're kind of a detriment, to be honest. These decrease your defense by nearly 14% if you're wearing both of them, and the amount of damage you get from having these is so insignificant compared to the damage you're taking for having them that they're not worth using when you're at this high of a level. When you're between levels 1 and like 45, these are really good for hitting benchmarks so you can use certain weapons. But at level 162 or even 150, it's even 100 honestly, these aren't worth keeping. They're more harm than good. So I would recommend taking these two talismans off. These two are pretty good. They add +5 into one stat, but at the same time, your stats are already so high that the benefit they add doesn't warrant an entire talisman slot. So they are still good if you want to do more damage. These might be worth keeping, but I think your damage output is already pretty high. You don't necessarily need these. Instead, I will be running with the Erdtree Favor +1. You can find this behind the fake Moog, underneath the Langdale Royal Capital. He's in an underground sector. Next up, I will be using the Crimson Amber Medallion +1. I do not know where to find this. I know where to find the +2 variation, but that's after you beat Maliketh. +1 you'll have to look up to find. Next up, I have the Radagon icon. This will increase your casting speed with both your sorceries and incantations, and an increased casting speed could make the difference of you getting hit and you not getting hit. Or you getting a spell off and taking a hit, versus you getting hit without even getting your spell off. So this is definitely worth keeping, especially since you're probably a pure caster. Lastly, I'm going to run with the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman for better defenses. If you look at our defenses now, they're at 46, you're at 18 before. This is nearly a 28% difference. With this talisman on and the source seals off, you'll be taking significantly less damage. My armor right now is medium, or it's pretty heavy armor actually. I'm wearing heavy armor right now. You don't have to wear heavy armor. I honestly just like how this looks. The gold and silver I think kind of captures the look of faith and intelligence. The catalysts are the Golden Order Seal and the Prince of Death Staff. Both of these scale with both intelligence and faith, so they're worth carrying because of their scaling. My Flask of Wondrous Physic, I'll go over that really quickly. Crimson Bubble Tear will increase your HP when you're low. This is something that will kind of save you if you just get sloppy and you get hit. If you get at low HP, this thing will recover automatically. For the Opaline Hard Tier, this is a defense buff for all your defenses, so not just physical, but it'll also increase your Holy and Lightning defense, which the Draconic Tree Sentinel is Lightning and Fire, and then Maliketh uses Holy damage. So this is really good for just extra defense. If you're kind of tired of me talking about stacking all these defenses, you can run Intelligence instead. That will boost your damage for all your incantations and sorceries, more so than the Faith would. So between the Intelligence Knot and the Opaline Hard Tier, I'd leave it to you. I definitely recommend running the Crimson Bubble Tier because this is kind of like a last resort type of thing. For your spells, I'm running Carrion Slicer in my first slot. It's a really fast spell, and you can do it out of jump attacks. You can do roll attacks with it, running attacks. This thing is basically treated as a dagger that does the damage of a colossal weapon, so it's definitely worth keeping on your character. Carrion Piercer is a little more niche. It's a very long attack. It's very it goes very far ahead of you, and can sometimes stagger enemies out of attacks. I know this definitely will stagger the Draconic Tree Sentinel will interrupt some of his more powerful attacks, but I think it might have to be charged in order to do that. The Great Blade Phalanx is a homing attack that kind of hovers around you. So you can have it hover around you and cast another spell and have them both hit at once to do a lot of damage. Rock Sling is a good poise damage thing, or stance. I'll use poise and stance interchangeably, but they mean the same thing. If you're trying to break your enemy's poise, using Rock Sling will definitely help with that. It is a slow cast, and you mentioned that you've been experiencing the drawbacks of a slow cast, but it is definitely a good spell. Lightning Spear is faster, you can charge it. Uncharged is a fast spell. Charged, it's a pretty good damaging long distance spell. Me personally though, I prefer the Stone of Gurunk. This also does more poise / stance damage. It's basically the incantation version of Rock Sling. It's one projectile. It doesn't track your opponent, but it's a much faster cast, and you don't have to hit all projectiles to get the full poise damage. You just have to hit one, and it does a lot of poise damage. Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike does like a lot of damage, so it's worth holding on to for when you get a stance break. Instead of going for a critical hit with a dagger or with a weapon, use this spell instead, and you're going to do massive damage. Next up, I got Black Flame's Protection. This is a defense buff you can apply to yourself. I always do it before a fight. And Blessing of the Erdtree is a health regeneration spell. So your HP will be regenerating automatically when you enter the fight. One thing I'd like to show you is if you hold up on your D-pad, you'll instantly go to your first spell slot. It's the same thing with your item pad. If you hold down on your item pad, or if you hold down on your D-pad, it'll go to your first item slot. So that's a really good way to cycle. You don't have to like look through your items to find your healing. You can just automatically go straight to your healing and automatically go straight to your first spell. I'm going to start the fight though. Oh, one last thing. I'm going to have the Blasphemous Claw in my item pouch right here. When I hold the action button, it shows the Blasphemous Claw in the bottom left. If I hold the action button, press down on the D-pad, I can use the item. This is something you'll want to use during the Maliketh fight, but for now I'm just going to fight the Draconic Sentinel first. I'm going to drink this, activate both my buffs. Alright. I'm going to run at him and just spam Carrion Slicer because he leaves a huge opening in the very beginning. Gonna get out of range, do a couple knocks at him. Oh, he ducked. That's unfortunate. He's going to try Spitfire at me, I presume. Get a Slicer in there. Get another Slicer. Get out of there, throw a rock at him. Another rock. Unfortunate. Didn't break his stance. Rock. Go on his shield side because I know I'm a little safer here. Doesn't do as much damage. It's a little easier to dodge. Even if you do get hit though, it's not a huge issue. There we go, that's what I was looking for. Fully cast this spell. Melt his HP, 3,335. It's more damage than I'd get on a critical hit. Okay, I'm going to go to Carrion Slicer. I missed, but that's no worries. It's a very inexpensive spell. Right now I'm just going to kind of... Oh, okay. I need to back off. I dodge this and I can heal. For that attack where he lowers his shield, right now, dodge right when you see his elbow drop. This attack right here, you kind of just want to run away from. There's no way you can really dodge into it without getting hit by the after effect. I'm just going to go for that again. I'm going to punch with 2 Carrion Slicers. Oh. Punch with a couple more. And he's dead. So Carrion Slicer is a really good spell. You have to get up close and personal, but I mean, you can do it out of a jump. You can do it out of a backstep, you can do it out of a roll. That has a lot of utility. So Draconic Tree Sentinel's dead. I'm going to go reset and set up for the fight with Maliketh. So you're going to want to go through the same buff routine as before. You're going to want to drink your physic and get your 2 incantations off. One thing to keep in mind too is it's kind of hard to remember which catalyst is which, because only your right hand can cast incantations and your left, assuming you have the same layout as I do. You can only cast incantations with a seal, and you can only cast sorceries with a staff. So it gets kind of hard where sometimes you'll try to cast a staff sorcery with your seal and you'll be kind of stuck there doing like that weird expression. It's gonna happen a lot, honestly, but once you get used to it, you'll be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm gonna get my phalanx ready when I enter. I'm gonna throw some rocks at him, and I should be able to get a stance break when he makes it to me. One more should do the trick. There we go. I'm gonna cast this. And that's almost phase 1 completely done. Yep, one more Carrion Slicer and that pretty much finished off phase 1. Let's see what I can do in phase 2. Now, I would watch a bit of the cutscene. While you're watching the cutscene, just keep in mind your parry tool is on the bottom of your pouch, so you have to hold your action button and press down on your D-pad, and your buffs will probably wear off in the middle of the fight. So just be mentally aware of that. Once you're kind of mentally prepared, start the fight. Something you'll want to do is stay to Maliketh's back. That's his blind spot. Oh, he's a little glitched out. I've never seen that, but the sword glowed gold, so I went for the parry. I'm gonna get punished with the Ancient Dragon Spear. Or Ancient Dragon Lightning. 800 damage, only 1 projectile hit, unfortunately. I should have gone behind him to use it, but I just didn't because I didn't have the time. 1, 2, parry. Alright, so I'm gonna run past him. Use it right here. This should get more damage on him. I couldn't see him for that one. I unlocked, which he punished me for. Dodge, dodge, parry. Oh, that was also the wrong tool. I tried to summon Torrent by accident. Kind of falling apart, so I need to refocus. Get behind him, roll behind him, get a few Carrion Slicers off. He's getting his distance. I'll recast this. It's very good at dodging it. Yeah, I need to get in the way. Yeah, I couldn't jump out of the way in time. It's fine, my health physic just activated. I have to wait till I'm safe. Roll away, and I'm safe to here. Alright. Roll in, Carrion Slicer, roll under, Carrion Slicer, dodge. I'm gonna throw... Nope, not gonna throw anything at him. And parry. Do another lightning, get out of... This should be out of range, and this should kill him. Yep, and that's how you beat Maliketh. Your build is definitely a force to be reckoned with. It just depends how you use it. The main things I want you to take away from is learn how to use catalysts in your right and staves in your left. Just kind of learn how to switch between them. Use Carrion Slicer. It's definitely a good spell. And do not use your Soar Seals. You're too high level to be using the Soar/Scar Seal talismans. I would recommend using other talismans. With that, I hope you enjoy using your build. This is how I would use it, but you can customize it however you want. Yeah, hopefully you can defeat Maliketh with it.